Hey everybody, and welcome to the $1 Billion Banker Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Perrone, and today I'm coming to you to talk about asking for feedback. One of the most important things that we can do in life and business is continue to evolve, but also to get feedback from others, right? A lot of us don't have a mentor or someone that we lean on to go to say, hey, tell me about how you think that went or what's going on, right? Do you think it went well? Is it not? And a lot of people aren't going to give you honest feedback too. That's the other thing you have to remember. If you want to get honest feedback, you got to ask for it. And so one of the things I wanted to share with you guys about this podcast specifically is its mission, right? I set out to make a substantial investment in time and money to put together resources and people that could hopefully inspire an audience and make them feel empowered to reach their potential, and that you can get these messages, right? And they would come to you and you would be so interested to listen to them because they would be about, different people and their success and their triumphs and their tribulations. And it would be something that you could take away and say, wow, like that woman started a business, or, oh my gosh, she became a partner in a law firm, or, oh my gosh, this is an amazing non-for-profit organization. Like, I can't believe it. Let me get involved. Let me start a nonprofit, right? All these different things. But you know what the reality is that these podcasts, they need to be exciting. They need to keep your attention so that you keep listening, right? And so asking for feedback on what's working and what's not working is critical, right? There's an audience. That audience is you guys. And I'm here to make sure that we're delivering on the best of the best that we can to keep you focused, to make sure that you're getting value out of this, number two, and also to have you become a part of this community, because we're bringing this information to you for you, right? And if you want to take a step further and you want to reach out to a guest that comes on because you want to engage them about helping you with something, or maybe you want to sign up for coaching, or maybe you need a mortgage, or whatever the case may be, you want to reach out to a realtor to buy a home, you have all these resources here. We're here to help, but we're here to help for free, right? There's no cost for this. This is just something that you can hopefully listen to as you're walking, as you're driving, as you're hanging out at home, and you could gain some knowledge. So I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that I've learned along the way and some of the things that are going to come in the next episodes, right? So you're going to see a shift here on the $1 Billion Banker Podcast. And the shift is going to be to make sure that this podcast is authentic, that it brings you genuine feedback, dynamic energy, that it's something that you want to come to, you want to listen in on, and you want to know more about. So what do those topics look like? Well, they're going to start getting a lot more interesting. They're going to start getting a lot more focused. And we're going to put a lot of time into getting those quality candidates together to join us on this show. And so if you have feedback, if you have people that you know that are out there that might be interested in joining us, I really would love to hear from them, because we're looking to book through to the end of this year as soon as we can. So one of the things I want to say is that feedback is the greatest way that you can learn any lesson in your life, is to say, how did I do? How did I do on that call? How did I do, on that presentation? How am I doing on my podcast? And so, when you go to get feedback from someone, you have to remember that sometimes you might feel a little defensive, right? You might say to yourself, oh my gosh, well, I don't know. I don't think that that's true. I don't think that's the perspective. But the reality is if someone's really going to give you honest, raw feedback, you have to be willing to take it, right? And as someone that is the CEO and founder of an amazing construction company that has grown my career in the mortgage industry as an executive, running billion-dollar teams, funding millions of dollars in business, and running amazing sales teams, I have the ability to kind of give some of that feedback, but I also still have the ability to take it, right? So I think everything transcends, right? And as we go through our journey in life, you reach a point where you may have achieved a lot, but you still have to realize there's still a lot of stuff to learn, right? It's not just oh, well, the greatest quote ever is success is not final and failure is not fatal. And so if there's someone out there that you're like, oh my gosh, they made it, there is no such thing as made it, right? You can achieve success, and then that quickly you can achieve failure again. And then you can achieve success and failure. And it's a constant balancing act, and you have to keep pushing forward. You don't just make it and then you're there, you've arrived, and you don't really have to do anything else to maintain it. That game of maintaining it is one of the hardest parts of it all, right? You can open an amazing studio, right? You can get tons of clients. You can have a great construction company. You could have the busiest years of your career. I'll never forget the story that I heard from someone who was they supply medical devices to doctors' offices, right? And not devices, technology, the technology that they're going to use within their practice. And their business was booming for years. And then all of a sudden, Meridian Health came in and they started buying all these little doctors' offices and implementing their own technology. And now all of a sudden, the technology that he had, his business, it wasn't needed anymore. These doctors' offices were like, hey, man, we like you. We love you. You're a great guy. We love everything you've done for us, but we don't need you anymore. Now Meridian has another solution. And boom, overnight, that business completely changed. And so now what do? That guy had reached the pinnacle of success. He was all the way at the top and he came all the way back down. So now what happens, right? Success is not final, right? So now he's got to start over again. He's got to get back out there. And so if you're in a position where you work in some kind of a business and you're like, oh my God, I've had such great years and now I'm here and now I have to do this again. Well, guess what? That's just part of life. You're just going to have to deal with it. And you're going to have to remember that that's going to happen again and again. It's cyclical. So, get the feedback you need now. Every year, every quarter, really sit back and assess yourself, assess your performance, assess where you are. One of my mentors used to say that you can't cruise uphill, right? So if you've reached the success, you feel like things are going good and you're just like cruising, well, guess what? You can't cruise uphill. You can't keep growing if you're just cruising along, right? You have to keep your foot on the gas if you want to keep going up. And if you start cruising, guess what? Eventually, if you keep going, you're going to go downhill, right? So in business, prospecting, receiving feedback, having mentors, opening up your social networks, doing everything you can to continue to get better is critical. I told my partner the other day, I said to him, hey, look, the more we work on ourselves, the more others will want to work with us. And I thought that was a great quote. I don't even know if I came up with it or if I heard it somewhere, but the more you work on yourself, the more other people will want to work with you. The more discipline you show for your own health, your own physical routine, your own family, your own mindset, your knowledge, your spirituality, your intellect, your ability to present, to speak, to change, to whatever it is. It sounds hokey, but I know so many people that they don't read books. They don't listen to podcasts. They don't do nothing to change or to evolve. And if you do that, well, first of all, there's an aspect that's like you kind of lose your interest level, right? Like in order to remain interesting, like you want to kind of be up on what's going on and what's happening, but you want to evolve with the people around you, right? Do you ever have friends in your life that like you've completely outgrown? You're like, I love them, they're great, but like we just don't really have much in common anymore. I'm going this way and they're just staying there, right? So you have to evolve to keep the pace in life. And you also, through time, have to be willing to be as authentic as you possibly can. And I think in the corporate world and in the business world, we tend to have like two facades, right? You tend to have your, here's who I am at work. Here's who I'm going to be when I'm at the office. And then here's who I'm going to be at home. And there's some people that can blend these two beautifully. And there's others that just never do, right? They stay in this space where they're forever going to be this one person that they are, this person that they are when they're at work, or this person where they are at home. And that's hence why I wore this today. I wore a t-shirt, I wore a hat, I wore jeans, I wore Nike shoes. And the reason why is because I want to be my authentic self. I want to kind of remove the mask, remove the layers, remove the suits, right? They're awesome. I invest a lot of money in them. I love them. But I want to be who I am. I want to be authentic to this audience. And I want this audience to know, like, I'm coming to bring it. Like, we want to be here to turn the volume up and turn the level up. And that's why we need you to subscribe. We need you to like. We need you to share. And we need you to support. Because the people that are coming onto this show, they don't have to pay anything to get in front of thousands of people, right? They just come. They come and they share their story, right? But we do. We invest in this platform. We invest in the opportunity to provide you with insight and inspiration. And so, I was thinking the other day, like, why? Why are we doing this? What's the point? What do we want to achieve? And so, I was thinking about my personal story, right? And how important it is to know your story and share your story. Like, who are you? What do you want to do? What's driving you? And I think that when I think back on my journey and all of the things that I've done to help develop myself, it never ends, right? But those moments, those developmental journey moments, going to the Tony Robbins seminars and the Pathways seminars and investing the time in myself, transformed the things that I thought I was capable of doing. And so there comes a point where you want to give some of that back. And, I've always gravitated towards those motivational people out there that have achieved success and said, hey, I've done this. I can show you how to do it too. I believe in that. I really do. But I think that at the end of the day, you also have to invest in yourself. And so don't invest in anybody else. Don't invest in any platform, in anything until you've decided like, hey, I'm going to really take this seriously, what I want to create in my life, what I want to become, and I'm going to do it. And if you haven't listened to the episode that we had, the girl from Buttermeat Pancakes, Shania, come in and tell her story about how at 24 years old, she opened her business. I mean, even the guys here at this studio, opening this company and putting this studio together, the amount of investment it took to get these things together, it requires an incredible amount of belief in yourself and an investment in who you are and what you're capable of creating. And I truly believe that if you're out there and you're listening to this, I truly believe that you're capable of achieving whatever it is that you want. And so why do I have that fundamental belief? Why do I want to be a leader? Why do I want to see people go from here to here? And why do I want to keep getting better at helping people get there? The reason why is because as a child, I grew up in a family where I watched a lot of the people that I loved not be able to achieve the things that they wanted to achieve, their desires. I watched their voices kind of be silenced. I watched them take a back seat to their desires and their aspirations for others. And I remember looking at that as a kid. I remember wanting to change that. I remember wanting to encourage them to do more. But I also remember thinking to myself, like, I'm never going to be like that, right? I'm never going to take a back seat in life, right? Because true partnerships, true relationships, and true experiences, people that love you want you to achieve the best version of who you are. And I think that this whole journey is a journey of love. This whole journey is a journey to get people to really get out there and reach their full potential. Like oftentimes I'll fall in love with people that are anyone that's like in the music industry, aspiring artists, like platforms and things that are so difficult to obtain like that. To me, that's like automatically you have my respect, because if you're trying to become a famous rapper or musician or something in that entertainment industry, the odds are so stacked against you that if you actually believe that you could get close to that, like, you've already won my respect, because you believe in yourself more than probably most people do in this world. And that kind of energy, like, that's the energy that we're going to be bringing here. That if you're not believing in yourself, we're going to help you do it, because we're going to share stories about people that are just like you, that have achieved things that maybe today you don't think that you could achieve, but you can. And so the $1 Billion Banker podcast is here to step up our game. And so the next level is going to be serious. We're going to have some guests that are coming here that are going to be unforgettable. We're going to teach you things about your life, about your business, about your emotions that you're not going to want to miss out on. So subscribe today, become a part of this journey with us. And we just can't wait to continue to provide you with value. If you have comments, feedback, suggestions, share it. We want to hear it. We want to be one of the most authentic brands out there that's helping people grow and become who they want to be. And we want you to be a part of the $1 Billion Banker mindset, the philosophy, the network. And we look forward to having you back here again. Thank you for joining us. Like and subscribe. I think I've said that a few times already. And we'll see you here soon. Have a great day, guys.